Prithvi Shanti Antarikshagam Shanti Dau Shanti Disha Shanti Ravantara Disha Shanti Ragani Shantir Vayu Shanti Raditya Shanti Chandrama Shanti Nakshatrani Shantirapa Shantiroshada Shantir Vanaspataya Shanti Gau Shanti Raja Shanti Rashva Shanti Purusha Shanti Brahma Shantir Brahmana Shanti Shantireva Shanti Shantirme Astu Shantihi. May there be peace on earth and in the sky. May there be peace in the water and in all directions. May there be peace in the plants, in the trees, and in animals. May there be peace in the hearts of all beings. May there be peace in everyone and everything. Sarvetra sukhina santu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvastaratu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarva sadbuddhimapnotu, sarva sarvatra nandatu. May all be happy and healthy. May all see what is good, and may no one experience misery. May all overcome that obstacles and acquire good tendencies. May people everywhere find joy and fulfillment.
Sing to Rama Rama Krishna on page 37.
To me, Krishna.
Good morning. I'm reading from The Disciples of Sri Ramakrishna on Mahendranath Gupta. When prophets or founders of the religions pass away, they leave their message in the hands of their disciples and followers, who become torchbearers of that to the world. On the monastic disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, if Swami Vivekananda has done most in the matter of broadcasting his message far and wide among the lay disciples of the Master, Mahendranath Gupta, better known by the pen name M or Master Moshai, ranks first as being the greatest instrument of spreading his teaching to the spiritually hungry world. His Kathamrita notes on conversation with Sri Ramakrishna through the original in Bengali and translation in various languages, Indian and foreign, has served as veritable ambrosia of innumerable souls thirsting for religion. And it has also become, as it were, an explosive to social life, inasmuch as by reading it, many have given up the world in quest of truth. The book alone was sufficient to immortalize him, for as at present, so also in future, it is bound to be a ceaseless source of inspiration to thousands of persons. Mahendranath was born on 14 July 1854 in Kolkata. His father, Madhusudan Gupta, and his mother, Swarnamai Devi, were both very pious people. They had 4 sons and 4 daughters, of whom Mahendra was the 3rd child. The outstanding impression left on Mahendranath by his parents was piety of his mother, to whom he was deeply attached. Once, when he was only 4 years old, he accompanied his mother to witness the Ratha Jatra festival in Mahesh on Ganges near Kolkata. And when returning, the party landed at Dakshineshwar Ghat to see the temple of Mother Kali, then newly built by Rani Rashmani, 1855. With reference to this, Mahendranath said the temple was all white then, new and fresh. While going round the temple, I lost sight of my mother and was crying for her, landed on the dais of the temple. Someone then came from inside and caressed me and began to call out, "Whose child is this? Where has his mother gone?" The fond imagination of Mahendranath would dwell upon the incident and the love to think that it was perhaps his master, whom he had met early in life in this fugitive way. The outstanding piety of his mother, impressed him in early life. That mother grew up very fond of her. And when his mother died, he felt disconsolate and wept bitterly. Then one night he saw his mother in a dream, speaking in a sweet voice, "I have so long protected and looked after you. I shall still continue to look after you, but you will not see me." After narrating the incident, Master Moshe would say, "It is the Divine Mother of the universe who, in the form of my earthly mother, protected me in life." Spring of 1882, he first met his master, and his master recognized him at first sight the spiritual caliber of Mahendranath. And he said that, "I can see from the sign of your eyes, brows, and face that you are a yogi. You look like a yogi who has just left his seat of meditation." And then the master started to teach him how to work. Thus, living and moving in the atmosphere of the master's life and personality of the association of the brother disciples more than a decade, he felt inclined to bring out the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the book which will immortalize his name. The genesis of how the diary of conversation with Sri Ramakrishna came to be recorded, he narrated thus: I was in worldly life, bound to my work, and could not visit Master whenever I wished. So I used to note his words and inspiration in order to able to think on them in the intervals before I met him again. So that impression made on my mind might not go overlaid by the stress of worldly work and preoccupation. It was thus for my own benefit and good that I first made the notes so that I might realize his teaching more perfectly. The Gospel first appeared in 1897 in English, in pamphlet form. It drew immediate praise and encouragement from Swami Vivekananda. The dramatic setting and the vivid impression given of the Master, the description of every occasion of the framework and the atmosphere all contrived to produce a wonderful effect. One felt transported to the period of Master's living. To be sitting by him and listening to his talk. The dharmis of persona seemed to be moving and living figures, and spiritual aroma of these lovely scenes and holy conversation filled one's heart with divine fragrance. Swami Vivekananda was all praise for the book. He wrote, I am in transport when I read it. The dramatic part is infinitely beautiful. The language is fresh and pointed a whistle easy. I now understand why none of us attempted his life before. It has been reserved for you. This great work. Indeed, it is poetic temperament of Mahendranath, his sensitive, impersonable nature. His long dwelling upon this sense and infinite love and reverence which helped him to recall these sense with the vividness and the force of life to make his master and disciples live in literature and immoral.
I will read a slightly edited version of an article called Mantra Yoga from the book Seeing God Everywhere by Swami Tyagananda. It's about japa. Japa is the repetition of the mantra or the holy name of God. According to scripture, the holy name of God is one with God. Swami Tyagananda was the head of the Vedanta Society in Sacramento until 1996. He was considered a japat siddha, one who has attained perfection through japa. Therefore, this article about mantra yoga flows from the direct experiences of the Swami. Mantra yoga is the spiritual practice that unites the individual with God through repetition of the mantra. A mantra is a holy name or word formula signifying God. God can be either with form or without form. In Hinduism, the use of the mantra during meditation on God is widely prevalent. This practice comes from the central belief proclaimed in the Vedas and other scriptures that the nama, the name, is not different from the nami, the named. The first step of mantra yoga is to repeat the holy name with great faith in its efficacy. The principle is that the mantra is one with the Ishta, or the chosen ideal of God, which may be a divine incarnation or the Supreme Self. In the beginning, this is a difficult concept to understand. It will be sufficient at the primary stage if the spiritual aspirant can practice japa, remembering that the mantra is connected with the power of divine consciousness. The aspirant should think that the holy name is creating a spiritual vibration in the body, mind, prana system. This vibration is not a material energy such as magnetism, heat, or electricity, but spiritual energy. Gradually, the spiritual seeker merges the mantra vibration into the movement of the prana, or the life force. He or she begins to experience the unification of the two movements. This leads to the higher experience that the movement of the life force itself is mantra repetition. The japa has been transferred from the tongue or throat to the life force operating in the body. Every action of the life force becomes a vibration of the mantra. As a result of this practice, a great harmony descends into the life force. What is achieved by the practice of pranayama in Raja Yoga, which is the yoga of concentration and meditation, is accomplished more completely in this stage of mantra yoga. If the repetition of the mantra is directed to the 5 sense organs, the eyes, ears, nostrils, tongue, skin, these organs become purified, and the corresponding 5 sense perceptions, sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, become purified. We know that sense objects constantly draw the mind outward, causing distractions, agitation, and suffering. When the sense organs become more imbued with purity and calmness, or sattva, this state of things changes. Then whatever we experience through our senses will no longer agitate the mind. We read in the Gita, quote, "One who is self-controlled moves among objects of lust and hatred, free from attraction and aversion. That person attains tranquility." The tranquility indicated by this verse can be attained by the practice of mantra yoga. In a way, practicing mantra yoga is more effective than attempting direct control over the senses. If love of God or self-knowledge be the ultimate aim of life, then the purification of the body and senses is essential. This purification is easily obtained by mantra yoga. The organs of action can also be purified by the practice of mantra yoga. If japa is continued during such physical activities as moving the limbs, working, gardening, sweeping, etc., then the corresponding organs of action undergo an inner transformation. The spiritual aspirant gradually begins to feel a spiritual vibration in the movement of the organs. In a song sung by the great 18th century saint Ram Prasad, we read, "O my mind, you can worship Mother Kali in any way you please, as long as you repeat the mantra given by the Guru day and night." Ram Prasad declares with great delight that the Divine Mother is present in every activity. When you lie down, know that you are making obeisance to her. Meditate on Mother even while you are asleep. When you walk around town, think that you are circumambulating the Divine Mother. All sounds that you hear are her mantras. When you eat, think that you are offering an oblation to her. The next step is to apply the mantra to the mental waves. Endless thoughts and emotions are constantly arising in the mind. It is indeed difficult to stop them. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna mentions this problem to Sri Krishna, who replies, "Certainly, O Arjuna, the mind is restless and hard to control, but it can be subdued by constant practice and the exercise of detachment." The practice of mantra yoga in this context communicates the great power of the holy name with faith and love to the mental waves. In this practice, there's not a bit of the toughness or aggressiveness that is required to challenge the mind directly. The distractions of the mind naturally become calm by the divine influence inherent in the mantra. When the body, senses, life force, and mind become infused with the purity and calmness by the practice of japa, it is then time to purify all objects and phenomena outside of ourselves. This is possible and should be done. The endless sky above, according to our normal vision, is material. But when you look at the sky and connect it with the divine through the inner repetition of the mantra, the material space will change its appearance. The goal of the mantra, namely divine consciousness, will be peeping from the sky. The sky will appear to be a shawl on the cosmic body of God. In a similar manner, the moon, the sun, the stars above, the trees, flowers, streams, forests, hills, deserts, and living beings on earth and in water, all of these endless segments of the universe can be purified by the mantra and be experienced as parts of the cosmic body of Sat Chit Ananda, or existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. In the next stage of mantra yoga, the necessity of directing the mantra internally into objects externally is transcended. The mantra is identical to the ishta. This understanding should increase in strength as the mantra is repeated. As this practice ripens, the mantra and the ishta become increasingly unified. Mantra Chaitanya, which is the divine consciousness implied in the mantra, will then be awakened. No more will there be doubts that the mantra is one with God. The heart will be filled with joy and peace. Slowly it would be felt that the mantra as Shabda Brahman, or sound Brahman, is emanating from the innermost center of the universe. The meditator's heart has become, as it were, one with the heart of the universe. Not only that, but every object and event in the cosmos will be perceived and will be seen to function in the great reality which is the mantra. In this stage of mantra yoga, the word is increasingly revealed as consciousness with a capital C. The mantra is felt to be the radiant light of consciousness. The devotee experiences the form of the ishta as the light of consciousness. The meditator's love for the ishta becomes immensely intensified. For one who follows the path of jnana, or knowledge, the mantra clearly reveals the deepest reality of the self. When the mantra is transformed into consciousness, the whole universe is experienced as consciousness emerging from mantra consciousness. At this point, there's no longer any repetition of the mantra in the usual sense of the term. The mantra is no longer merely a word or words, but one with Sat Chit Ananda. Nothing else exists but the mantra as consciousness. Consciousness far away, consciousness near, nearer, nearest. As if one colossal flood had inundated everything, all names and forms merged in one vast ocean of consciousness. Can we describe the supreme glory of Shabda Brahman in words? No, we cannot. At the ultimate level of Shabda Brahman, words have become wordless, forms have become formless, all multiplicity has unified in consciousness. The seeker is mute, and the mind is transcended. By holding on to the mantra, the holy name received from our spiritual teacher, with faith and love, experiencing the revelations of the mantra step by step, surely we can reach the ultimate goal of our spiritual life as declared by Vedanta.
Thank you, Aparna. Thank you, Anish. Swami Tyagananda ji is away in Australia for the dedication of new shrine and campus of the Vedanta Society in Brisbane. He will be back later this week. Next Sunday, we will celebrate our annual Freedom Festival with prayer, meditation, music, reflected by Swami Tyagananda ji, followed by potluck lunch. If you need ideas about what you could bring for potluck, please speak with me after the service. This Wednesday, being July 4th, there will be no study group meetings. There will be Aarati and meditation on the Tuesday and Saturday as usual. We will now do the prayer on page 3 of the book, then Sarva Mangala, and then in the sitting room, we will all have soup and birthday celebration for all those born in the month of July. Om. May the divine being who is the Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Aura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, the Great Spirit of the Native Americans, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May we be granted strength, freedom, and clear understanding. May we learn to see God in our own hearts and in everyone around us. May God bless us all and fill our hearts with gratitude, grace, and love. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
We will sing Sarva Mangala on page 5.